Hi, my name's Christine Pelland. I'm a swine veterinarian. Part of my role as a veterinarian is to work with producers to help them look at their farms and assess biosecurity risks associated with things entering or exiting their herds. When we talk about diseases and biosecurity, essentially we're trying to stop the movement of viruses or bacteria moving on or with anything that's coming in or out of a barn. And that can be diseases that are specific to our pigs that can really affect their performance and their health for the production of the producer that's marketing them, all the way up to foreign animal diseases that we simply just can't have in our country because we're free from them at this point. Things like African swine fever or foot and mouth disease that would be crippling for our industry. All of those, an entire spectrum of different diseases, both viral and bacteria, can be damaging to have into our farms and affect our pigs. If you're asked to visit a farm, it's very important to understand what the requirements of biosecurity for that barn will be before you get there. All the way from which laneway to drive up to where to park your vehicle, what door to enter, and then how you then further enter into the barn. There's a whole range of different experiences that you can come across when you come to a pig barn, all the way from your Danish entry system, which is a simplified version of a very distinct clean, dirty line when you're entering into your barn. So specifically talking about your footwear, your coat, and making sure that your hands are clean, right? So you're going to leave your outer footwear on this side of a bench or a line of distinction, step over that and go into their boots, their coveralls. Another experience that you might come across is a full shower in, shower out facility. So facilities like this might be more tailored to sow barns where there's younger pigs involved, where there's constant animals in the site, where the disease status is very important to uphold within that barn. What that means is that you enter into a barn door, and similar to what I described in a Danish entry, you leave your shoes and your coats and all your outerwear in a certain area, and then you actually approach a shower-in facility where you undress from everything that you came into that barn with. You go through a shower process, and then you put on everything that's designated to the inside of the barn so that there's a reduction of risk of anything coming through and into that facility. Conversely, when you're coming out, you leave everything inside the barn. So everything that's contacted the pigs, everything that's been in that facility stays in the barn and stays with that health status, and then you come out and put back on everything that you came with and then leave the facility. If you're asked to bring equipment into a barn, there's some certain things that you should probably consider with that. One, has the equipment that you're using or bringing into the barn been at another site where there's pigs or other livestock? That's important to understand because tools and equipment can actually hold on to different viruses and bacteria for different periods of time. And so we want to make sure that we're minimizing any risk associated with that type of stuff coming into a barn and being a vector or a host for any diseases coming through. One of the things that you can consider is using equipment or tools that are already on site. So talking to the producer before you get to a farm and understanding if there's tools that you don't have to bring in from your own tool chest, and using anything that can be provided in that farm facility. And if that's not available or appropriate, then there are measures that we can take to really minimize the risk of bringing anything in on that equipment. Things like disinfecting or simple downtime in a heated room or a heated area can really reduce any risk of having diseases, viruses, bacteria be brought in on equipment that you might need to use within a farm. If you're asked to visit more than one barn a day, or there's an opportunity to potentially visit more than one barn a day, there are certain factors that you want to consider in that request. One, different barns different producers, different flows of pigs have different health statuses. So you need to be aware of what those are and be very open and communicative with the producers that you're working with before you go from one barn to another. The other thing that you really have to consider here is the type of production that's within those barns that you're asked to go to. We talk about sows and suckling pigs that are nursing on mom are going to be our most vulnerable to contracting disease. And so you want to consider them our highest risk population within a flow of pigs. Then we have our nursery barns, that would be the next sort of highest risk population. And then we have our finishers, or pigs that are going to market, the last risky population of animals. So if you're asked to go to different facilities, you want to understand what population of animals is inside the barn that you're going to, and try to tailor your visits from your highest risk to your lowest risk. Biosecurity is an absolute priority for our swine industry, not just for the pigs, for the farmers that produce them, for our industry as a whole, and for the food we eat.